Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Don't be shy.
Hello. Sorry, my cat just jumped up on the table at the last possible minute before we went live. Kind of threw me off my game.
We should have known, though. He does it almost always.
It is our tarot cat, but you never know who else may come along.
But who are we? We are TFT, Tarot for Today, and welcome. This is Divine Dabblings with Oberon.
And me, Banshee. Welcome to our show. We've got a few things planned besides readings tonight that I'd like to get done really quickly because I know the chat room fills up fast. Hey, Smiling Soul, welcome.
Hi, Smiling Soul. Welcome.
Okay, Sunny is about to knock over my rune leaves, which reminds me, it is time to pick a rune leaf.
Okay.
I mixed them up a little bit. I'm going to pick the one today. I think we've had this one before. It is Uru's Strength. I don't know. We may have even had that last time. Sounds so familiar.
No, we didn't have this one last time.
Okay. Well, Uru's Strength is a very good omen for us, I think. And in particular, if anybody's been having some health issues, this shows vitality and strength. It's for healing. It's for good health, recuperative ability, willpower, sudden changes, promotion, bringing added responsibility if you work, growth, beginnings and endings, and relationship changes. So it can also represent a man in a reading as well because it's got that kind of masculine overtones to it, strengthening. So I hope everybody's had a pretty good week. It is Mercury retrograde shadow time now, and I shared on our Facebook and our Twitter pages today a little Mercury retrograde rap that I created years ago, which I still have a lot of fun with, and I hope it helps you power through the retrograde. Remember, we have to be strong. We know that this won't last forever, right?
Well, we are definitely wondering about that because Mercury retrograde proper happens next Thursday on Halloween. Mm-hmm. So that'll be something that we'll all be wondering about. But we are, speaking of Halloween, getting into the Halloween season. And so we have some extra content that we've been throwing at you this month. One of those things is our Halloween haiku, which we feature a different one every day. And then some days we have two. And that's on our Facebook page. So look for TFT Tarot for Today on Facebook. It's also on our Twitter page.
Hi, Warda Araz. I can't say your last name. I'll just call you Warda. And you are, is me and a Leo guy going to work in Reynosa. Well, we've got a pecking order here now. We had Smiling Soul first. We have Warda. And we have Reynosa. And so we will take your questions in just 1 second. Do you want to go ahead and finish up with announcements? Because I can hold off on the other readings later.
So then to top it off, on Halloween morning, we will present a special video presentation of Madam Banshee and Master Oberon doing a dramatic recitation of all of our Halloween haikus. So there's like about 30 some of those. And we're going to premiere that at some point on Halloween morning, so that'll be fun to watch that.
There's just going to be a whole day of Halloween videos and
later
3-hour live stream on Halloween.
Right. Our special Halloween broadcast next Thursday night will be 3 hours from 6 to 9 p.m. So we hope to do a little Halloween fun then. And then later on, maybe around 11 o'clock, I haven't finalized that, but I'm also going to have a special video presentation, a YouTube video presentation of a meditation for Halloween with the tarot cards. So watch for that too. More details.
Okay, so we've had 3 people. I got them in order that they have entered our live stream at.
Very good.
Smiling Soul was first. Hey, Smiling Soul, do you have a reading or question for us right now? We'll wait a couple minutes to give her a chance to reply. And also, I would like to say that we are using today where is my box? Or I'll use the book, the Halloween Tarot, which is a U.S. game stack. and it is by Karen Lee, and the artwork's by Kipling West. It's a very whimsical Halloween deck, and you know, we can read them. I just want to let you know, the people we'll be reading for, that pentacles will appear as pumpkins in this deck. The cups are going to be ghosts. The bats are the symbol for air or swords, and the wands are going to be the imps and fire. So we will be able to read these for you, and we'll start with Smiling Soul and give you 1 more minute, Smiling Soul.
We also have a new person in the chat too. Hello to Asaya.
Asaya. We are taking names in order, and we will try to get readings in
So if
for
you're looking for a
everybody
reading, we
tonight.
will attempt to get through every person in order.
Okay, so...
And maybe it's possible that Smiling Soul is just watching.
she will be back with us later.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next reading with Warda. I see your question here. And you and the Leo guy, will your relationship work? Well, do we want to start off with a yes-no on that and add some things to it?
Sounds okay.
Okay, we're going to start off with a yes-no reading for you, Warda. And we both like to get our hands on the cards. This is our cat, Sunny, who's with us today. He will probably sit here for most of the live stream, I have a bad feeling. Actually, I enjoy his company, but he does tend to get in the way.
And you're welcome, Warda. Yes,
you, Monster
Sunny
Hunter.
Cat is cute. He is cuter than either of us. But he doesn't read the cards as well, so he's more of a mascot kind of thing.
Although for some of you who haven't been to previous live streams, Sunny tried to grab one of my rune leaves from the bowl that I divinate with. I have runes inscribed on the leaves, and I bring them out every fall. And he pulled one out of the bowl like he wanted me to read it for him. Or, well, he probably really wanted to eat it, I think.
Okay, Banshee, do you want me to go ahead and
I
cut
want
those?
you to cut them, and I'll do the count. And
so
if you
this
want to
is-
explain how we do the...
This is a yes or no question. I learned it first as an oral tradition, but I understand it's made most of the good books now. You basically count off cards in 3 piles, and you only count up to 13 unless you pull an ace, and then you stop there and you start the next pile. Regardless, at 13, you always start a next pile, and you only do 3 columns. So potentially you can get 1, 2, 3, or possibly no aces. The amount of aces you have is what kind of gives us the information on the yes or no value of your reading. The more aces, the more likely it will be yes. So therefore, 3 aces looks like a positive yes. 2 aces looks like a good chance of yes. 1 ace makes it look like it's only maybe possible, but not strongly possible. And of course, no aces sounds like it's not going to happen.
And also, as I usually do, I will add a couple of Lenormand cards to the reading. So would you go ahead and, this is it. They've got 2 aces.
Well,
Warda.
for this reading, Warda, and the question you asked was about whether the Leo person would possibly be in a relationship with you. Will it work? So I get a stronger chance of yes. It's not
Add
a
it
total.
to the list, Felice.
It's not a totally positive yes, but it's more likely yes because I have 2 aces: the ace of bats and the ace of imps. And then I also have another card, the 6 of pumpkins,
Pentacles.
which is pentacles. I could have said that.
I know.
And it's reversed. And the 6 of Pentacles sort of talks about aspects of service and about whether we help others, right? Or not.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say something to that?
I think it's all a giving. It's a card of giving of yourself. So in other words, it is reversed though, correct?
Right.
So, you know, I think in this case with the relationship, it's a matter of how much are you willing to give? You know, you're going to have to maybe perhaps put a little bit more of yourself into this relationship in order to make this work. I
Warda,
want to look at your question again. Go ahead.
are you an air sign by chance? Because I'm looking at the two aces, and one is the fire sign, which could be the Leo, and then the other one is possibly an air sign. So I'm just wondering, even if you're not an air sign, it may not actually relate to any of that. It's really more about the amount of yes you have there. But I'm just sort of picking up that sense that there is a lot of compatibility, that you don't have incredibly strong differences between you, but there might be a few. So that's why I think what Banshee said about the Six of Pumpkins, Pentacles is important. That you may want to practice honesty, and maybe people have to really have that dialogue and really say, I think we're moving into a relationship. This is really how I feel about it. This is maybe what I think of when I'm thinking of getting into a relationship. And excuse me if it seems like I'm possibly condescending. I'm not trying to be, but I'm just saying that the biggest thing about most relationships is communication. And so if you understand your values, and if you're able to communicate them, and if your partner or intended partner can, usually that's a really good sign.
I think that's a really good thing. Also, what he just said, but also the Six of Pentacles reversed sometimes also indicates that somebody may be holding back a little bit. I'm not
Oh.
sure if you're like waiting for the Leo person to make a move of some sort, or, maybe you're going to have to be the one to make that first move. Do you see that, what I'm saying? I get that feeling a little bit too here.
Yeah, I can see that. It resonates a little bit. So I guess there is that idea too,
Uh-huh.
that, and that's the thing about of giving of oneself. Sometimes we don't want to draw attention to how much we give of one ourselves. We want people to see it at face value, because if we look like we're touting ourselves, that always looks superficial. So it's a question of balance. It's really like thinking about how balanced you are in terms of representing yourself this way. What you got here?
Well, I have the snake and I have the birds, and I almost get the feeling that there might be some outside interference going on here as far as this relationship goes. Maybe there's some other people. There's some talk. There's some gossip. There's maybe some people who have been spreading some rumors. I get the feeling the snake card is one of some type of deception, and I don't think it's necessarily coming from the Leo.
Okay, did you give us a little information about the Lenormand in general?
Well, the Lenormand is a cartomancy deck that's been around for a long, long time. The tarot, of course, I think predates it, but it's been around for a long time. There are many versions of it. This one is by Ciro Marchetti, and it's really a gypsy-style divination deck. It is a little bit different from tarot. I like to supplement my tarot readings with the Lenormand, and he doesn't study them, but he's doing a great job of intuiting the cards.
Right, and I mostly see what you say there too, is that there's this idea maybe that, now, can you explain the birdhouse card, the
Well,
birds?
the birdhouse to me could even be social media. It's one of those things. It's about information, it's about gossip, it's about people getting together and chattering.
So that was the gossip.
Right.
And the snake, though, is
Well, the
more
snake is kind of, what is a snake? It's kind of
deceit,
sneaky and
sneaky,
deceptive.
yeah.
So, that's why I think there could be some malicious gossip or something going on behind the scenes here, too.
So in a way, that kind of explains maybe the attitude that you said, that you do have a reserved quality when I mention that. And the thing is if you may be operating in an environment where people want to get some titillation or drama out of other people's adventures, then you are circumspect to kind of be more personal about that. So like I said before, I think it's just mostly the balance of figuring out when and how the best way to communicate. But I also feel too that maybe there is that possibility that there is somebody out there who maybe is perceptual as a mutual friend between the two, but it may be possible too that they might be the loose lips in the equation. I just sort of get a slight psychic sense about that.
Well, and that's what we have for you right now, Warda. I hope this helps. But this definitely has potential, I believe.
Yeah,
it does.
it looks like it's mostly a good answer towards yes, and just to keep in mind some of the little things we mentioned about communication and expressing your self's value.
Okay, thank you. And we are up to
Smiling Soul's back. Are we gonna see
uh,
if we get?
well, Smiling Soul, do you want a brief reading now?
You're welcome, Warda.
You're very welcome, Warda, and feel free to tune back in. We're on twice a week, as Oberon has said.
Is Renosa next? Maybe we can move on.
Okay, hey, Smiling Soul, do you have a question?
Possibly.
Okay, so let's see if we can find a little dream interpretation here for Smiling Soul real quickly. I think I have a 3-card dream spread that I created. And then we will move on. Next will be Renosa. So hang in there, Renosa.
Okay, do you want me to use my cards?
Sure. You can use
Okay.
yours. You want to tell which deck
And
you're using?
yes, and because it is the Halloween season, we've both been using our decks that have little, gothic or Halloween type resonance. And so I have picked a tarot that's actually called the Gothic Tarot. So it tends to have some darker type of images on there, but mostly consistent with the regular tarot.
We're just getting in the Halloween spirit here.
Okay, so you wanted to know this man keeps on coming into your dream.
have
When is he coming? Okay, so it's a time base.
Well, we'll see if it is if it is in fact indicative of somebody coming, but we'll see what comes up in the dream spread.
So am I doing that spread?
We're
Am I gonna? It's my cards, right?
yeah, we're both gonna shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I didn't understand.
Well, you were first in line. We skipped ahead to Warda's Smiling Soul. We're trying to keep some semblance of order here, so we'll get you done. Oh, do we have
Renosa will
orbs
be
again?
next.
Guess
Renosa
what,
will be
Smiling
next.
Soul? It was another one of those little bugs. We could say it's a mystical orb, but I don't want to lie.
Way back when, there's a kitty on the side of me that's going crazy.
Hang in there, Renosa. We'll get to you. We're going to be doing a quick one for Smiling Soul, and you are next.
Yes, baby. Come here.
All right, I'm going to cut. If I can work around the cat.
And you'll tell me how to lay them out?
Yes, 3 cards. And the first card is going to be, hang on one second. It's basically the dream significance.
Okay.
What is it?
The Knight of Cups.
It's
upright.
the Knight of Cups, Smiling Soul.
So, oh my, so this does look like a person of interest as far as the emotional realm goes. It definitely looks like the coming or going of something to do with a possible romantic connection, or certainly somebody that you may feel drawn to.
He's very dreamy, or a dreamer type personality.
Yeah, the Knight of Cups itself does have some aspects of that. I think the page is more the dreamy person, but the Knight is in the emotional realms for sure.
Yeah, he might have some artistic leanings of some sort. The warning or message from this dream.
The reversed 7 of Wands.
Well, that's an interesting card to get. It seems like right now you're maybe not, maybe still you're not completely ready for this to happen. The 7 of Wands upright is card of somebody standing their ground and being prepared for, has the upper ground. It seems as though right now, maybe you have a lot of things going on in your life that, makes you not prepared for, this new relationship to happen. What do you say?
What is the position again? The attitude?
No, I said it's the warning or message.
Well, the warning or message is that you may feel like it's overwhelming. You may feel like you're not able to mount your strong front. You may question whether you really want to keep pursuing that. So, in other words, in terms of this dream, it may be that you really are going to question the basic dream itself and say maybe it is just a dream, maybe it doesn't really mean anything more than that, or maybe you will feel that there's an overwhelming quality about it and you won't want to pursue it for that reason.
Asia, you are after Renosa. Yeah, I mean, I just think right now it's a timing thing to me that it's not quite the right moment. But let's go ahead and see what the final card, Oberon, is what is going to manifest.
Holy cow! Like Mary Jane says in
All right.
Spider-Man, you just hit the jackpot.
Let's just say if you're ready or not, it looks like a new relationship could happen.
Something is going to happen in the future. Some relationship. Maybe it's a relationship within the dream world. Maybe it's a relationship in reality. I tend to think it's more likely the latter, like you will find yourself in some sort of situation. I don't know. I say it's totally in the beginning stages as I see this. So it's the kind of thing that basically I would like to think it's going to be a growing venture.
So I would say he's coming, but when? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not
I tend to
sure.
think, I don't know. We have a knight rushing in here. I tend to think it could be sometime within the next 3 months. I like to say a 3-month window with some of these things. That's what it looks like to me. So maybe that will give you time to, get some other things in order so you can make room in your life for a new relationship. Okay, so I have shuffled the cards thoroughly, my Lenormand, and I still get one of the cards we had before. This happened
How do you
last
do
time.
that?
We have the birds again, which
The
we had in our
birdhouse.
reading, our previous reading with Warissa, and we have the sun this time, Smiling Soul. The sun is such a wonderful card of success and vitality. And coupled with the birds, it seems to me you get a lot of satisfaction out of either socializing or social media and chatting it up with people. It seems like these interactions are going to be very satisfying for you. And who knows? Maybe somehow you'll meet the knight that way, if not in person.
Well, my little bit of intuition is telling me that you are going to find out something about this, and that it may be that as you casually mention some of the elements of your dream to some other friends or some people you work with or some situation, that somebody may say, oh, I know somebody like that, or I think there's somebody like that you may be able to meet. But I think you're going to find out more about the reality through, like what Banshee was saying, maybe the social media or the social situations you may find yourself in. So I think that's coming to, and possibly, like she says, within the next several months. I tend to lean on earlier, so if that's what you're looking for, I hope that happens.
Absolutely. And so now we are moving on to Renosa. Finally, Renosa, you're still with us, I hope. And I know you were asking about the next person coming towards you in love. So I'm going to let you shuffle first, Mr.
Okay, am I going to
Oberon.
continue using this deck?
Yeah. I'm going to see if I have a reading for that. If not, we will wing it.
Next person coming towards you in love. You're welcome, Smiling Soul.
Okay.
You know what reading you want to use?
Well, I think I've got an idea. I'm kind of combining things again.
Okay. Winging it.
So I am winging it. Yep, absolutely. And that's what we do. So
I think an orb almost flew into my mouth.
Oh no,
Wait, that wasn't an orb.
that was a bug. It's that time of year here in Michigan where it's getting cold and all of the bugs are trying to get in the house and find a warm place.
Little tiny moths or gnat-like bugs somehow get into the house. Some spiders, but those are mostly in the basement, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Sometimes upstairs, unfortunately. All right, Sunny is batting at my cards here, saying, why are you ignoring me?
He almost looks like he's asleep in a way. Ah, that's my boy.
So let's see if we can get a card that will, the first card will identify the type of person that might, well, the type of person that might be coming towards her. And then I've got a couple of things from there. From Renosa. Him or her. I'm sorry, I've got to watch my pronoun usage. Here we go.
We're kind of old farts, so if you think we need help with the pronouns, please go right ahead. Because we might be clueless in this regard.
Okay, so this is going to be like a reflection of who might be coming to Renosa at this time.
Okay, so the first card.
Who she should be looking towards.
Oh!
It's a, wow, Renosa. A very
It's a Knight of
serious
Swords.
type in a way, the Knight of Swords. Kind of, I don't know if I want to describe physicality, but I would say there's somebody that might be very fair-minded and just-oriented. As, you know, they may work in the legal profession or law enforcement. They have a very logical mind about them as well, very analytical.
I think they're also a little bit forceful, but not necessarily overly aggressive. They're just sort of like dynamic and self-assured kind of personality. I also think too that maybe it could be somebody you know already, but they've just been kind of moving in and out like of your office or some area you work in, and so they haven't really had a connection yet. But I think that because of that movement thing, they're gonna, that at some point you're going to be in the right place at the right time, or both of you will be.
And I think it's safe to say that that's indicative of possibly an air sign.
Yeah, it does sound like it could be an air sign too, of course.
Okay.
Or somebody with at least air sign-like qualities. Next card.
So let's see what's happening in the present right now. Let's see if there's any movement. Well,
An interesting card.
It's a really nice, powerful card you have here in the present, the Magician. It's as if you're ready. You are ready for something new to develop for you. You have planned, maybe you've planned on this a little bit, or you're putting things in place to try to put yourself in situations that, a relationship could be possible, and, where you might be able to meet somebody. And if so, and if not, then maybe that's what you should be considering here, is to get out into social circles more, social activities, and open yourself up to the possibility of meeting this Knight of Swords.
Well, I have maybe a couple things to say here. Number one is that in the older, more European style decks from a couple hundred years ago, the Magician was also called the Juggler.
Yeah,
and I think that the juggler is a person who knows how to balance things, or how to precision qualities and forces. And so I'm suggesting that this is a card for you to look at how you are kind of collating and or putting things there. The Magician is an archetype of your willpower and to a large degree your creativity, but it's also about how you juggle all those aspects of those things and how you forge the direction that you go at. So I think that's what I'm feeling there is
That's a good one.
It may be the need to get out of the house, but the thing is that you have control going on, and so that's your backbone.
Well, he struck on something very poignant there, that also, and you mentioned you need to get out of your house. That's just it. I think right now what this card is saying is, if you have the will to make something like this happen, you can do it. But you have to open those opportunities up, and maybe, yes, it is getting out a little bit more into the world.
And in a way, both of these cards kind of, in terms of just talking about qualities within ourselves, or maybe other qualities, they are very similar. So this could be saying that this possible person has some very similar qualities to you. So you may feel that, that's what part of the draw is that it seems kindred.
And the final card is going to be the next steps. What's next for you? Will this relationship develop? What do we have?
Well, I do want to say it's not necessarily an air sign person, but sometimes people have parts of their chart balanced towards air signs, water signs, etc., because it really depends on things like where their moon sign is or where their rising sign is.
Well, but you might meet somebody new that will be, the air sign too.
And I'm sorry, I missed the.
I did say that was the next steps or the a new relationship with some information about how the relationship will go.
Okay, well, in the new relationship, I'm seeing the two wands reversed. So
Okay.
I'm thinking that there's an idea there that maybe from some point of view, you sort of have sat with the questions or the meditations or the thinking about it, and you've suddenly decided it is time to act and it is time to move. And you're still going to have a little bit of trepidation because you still will feel like you're not exactly sure you know where you're going. It's not unconfident so much as really just knowing that you normally rely upon your facilities. And so, that's just a part of how it sounds like an air sign to me too. Air signs are very logical. So this is part of that whole thing about being a logical person and just saying A plus B plus C equals, D or E or something like that.
So, at any rate, since this was talking too about the new relationship, it might be a little bit rocky at first as you get to know each other. I sense that there's going to be some imbalances that you might have to work through. Every relationship has got that, as you test the waters with each other. And yeah, I do think this is going, I do have a sense, Renosa, that this is somebody maybe you don't know at present. This could be someone new.
All right, are you going to pull the
I'm going to pull a
Lenormand?
couple of Lenormand cards for you, Renosa, before we close. And let's see what we've got. This is interesting. Okay, so I have pulled the ship and like the tower or an institution. Because a tower is like that. His tower is like an institution. It could maybe indicate a workplace. It could indicate a governmental agency. Because remember, again, Renosa, I talked about this person possibly working in the legal professions. So it might be that you meet them, in some situation like that. Maybe you're in a government office or legal building and you meet this person, or this person is attached to that. And the ship seems to indicate to me that they may be coming from a distance. They may not live close, or they're moving. There's some change related to this person in this situation, because the ship is about change and travel and distance.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything beyond that with these particular ones. I do think that this person probably is already fairly moved into a career of some sort, because I'm sort of glomming onto what Banshee said with the whole tower thing representing institutional kind of placement or situation.
It could even
there.
be a school. It could be.
It could be, yeah, but I'm sort of feeling like there's somebody that's already semi into their career at least, if not more. And it may be too that I get the feeling like on some level there's going to have to be a little bit of travel or journeying with you moving towards that. I don't think it's fundamental, but I just think it's moves that you make more or less, to get there.
Very good. Well, I hope that's helped you, Renosa.
And I agree with Smiling Soul. Positive affirmations are always helpful too.
Hey, is Asaya, I hope I'm saying that right, Asaya. Are you still with us?
Because you're up.
I wanted to see if she posted a question previously. We'll give you a couple minutes. And then we will move on. Do you have any announcements to make?
I will. You're welcome, Renosa. I will just go through the deal again. Is that we are mostly here. We are here on Thursday nights from 7 to 9. Well, we're mostly here at some other level, and then also Sunday at 2 to 4, and those are Eastern Standard Times. So we have Had a little bit of commerce with some people that are a number of time zones away. They're not with us tonight, but we've had a few people show up, so that was
Oh,
kind of
hi,
interesting.
Asaya.
Okay, so we have a question
Asaya. Okay, thank you. Asaya, so do you
Asaya
have a
Science.
question for us? Oh, will I end up with my crush? Okay, well,
And Abdullahi, you will possibly be next, I believe.
oh, I didn't see that
Oh
one
no,
yet.
wait, that's the
That's
person you're
Asaya.
talking about.
Asaya, yes.
Sorry. Gotcha.
We got it, don't worry.
I thought it was a different person. I didn't realize it was the person you were talking about. Excuse me. So you're going to do your cards?
Yes, I
Yes,
am.
okay.
I'm going to do the Halloween tarot, a very whimsical tarot deck. And we're going to do a yes-no on this one, I think, to find out.
Will Asaya end up with their crush?
And I, of course, will throw some more Lenormand cards, which may shed more light on the situation. All right, I'm shuffling. I'm going to let Oberon shuffle. And we'll get to your question, Asaya.
Now, I am going to say something to Saya, and that is that you're using a little emoticon or thing that looks like somebody that's crying. So I get the feeling like maybe you're already having a little bit of concern about the situation.
Well, you're worried because you have a crush, perhaps. And yeah, we will see what the cards say, what the chances are. Now, remember, whatever we tell you, remember, the tarot is only a snapshot in time. There is potential for changing. You know, the future is not set in stone. With now, I always believe, you know, now with knowledge is power. So you have power to change your destiny with the knowledge that the cards provide you.
And our sun man was chewing on.
I was playing with him.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
afraid now he's going to go after. Oh, wow. Okay, we got an ace the first one. We got another one. Oh my goodness. Do you have a Saya, I have to ask you before I hand these over to Oberon, do you have a really strong feeling that this person is attached to you and meant to be with you? I feel you feel this in your gut that you were meant to be with this person.
Well, and you speak of them as a crush.
Well, it's also because of one of the cards I drew, which we'll get to in a minute. Okay, so I wanted to get them away from the cat.
And Asaya responded.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Okay, so basically put, the answer to the question is probably a good chance of yes. It's not a positive yes, but it is a good chance of yes. What we are seeing are these two aces here, the ace of ghosts, which is water, and then a reversed ace of bats, which is air. That those qualities don't necessarily mean anything in terms of this reading, but they do represent the potential for a yes answer. And then along with that, we're seeing this card, the High Priestess. Looks like she's posing with Batman there. Oh no, that's not Batman.
The High Priestess
and I'm going to let you
is
go
a
first
very
on
good
that.
card because, well, it's saying that, you know, deep within yourself, you know, this person resonates with you and you just feel like you could read them like a book almost. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. And I feel as though, you know in your gut that you were meant to be together. You have a very strong feeling here. And I would say to you strongly that the answer is leaning very much to yes. I think maybe sooner than later.
It's probably a sooner resolution than not. And I get the feeling because of what you've said and also because of what these cards show that you're going to probably be the person to make the difference in terms of that, because I think you are the person with the energy here. And so you will continue to draw them to you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so you're both Aries. Okay.
I'm an
there's nothing wrong
Aries
with
too,
that.
Asaya. I am an Aries through and through.
Okay, so Banshee's going to throw a couple
Yes, I'm going to
Lenormands.
throw a couple Lenormands, so hang with me a minute.
So once again, that answer is most likely yes, and probably, um, probably by the end of the year. I don't know, or soon.
Well, let me
Soonish.
put this to you this way. This bond could be very fortunate for you, and I think maybe through some lucky occurrence, if this makes sense to you, uh, something that happens that really something happens that maybe will bring you closer together. You got the clover, which is indicative of luck and fate, and you have the ring, which clearly is kind of a bond,
The
you know, a
bond thing, yes.
partnership, union of some sort. So I think this is very positive. If we couple it with the other reading, things look very good.
Yeah, I can't really add a whole lot to that. I'm not sure exactly, how fast you want to move on this, but it sounds to me like mostly it's kind of like fate that it's going to
Yeah,
happen.
that it's almost like fate, or some fateful occurrence brings you two together, if that makes sense at all.
Ah, there's distance though between you.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So who is more likely to move, or how do you see a relationship in acting from long distance?
I don't know why I just decided to draw another Lenormand card for you, Asaya, but I pulled I pulled the heart card. So I know your feelings are very, very strong for this person.
That's beautiful.
And maybe it's time. I don't know if you feel comfortable expressing those feelings, or if culturally even that is appropriate for you. So, but I have to say, there's some very, very strong romantic vibes here in this reading.
Well, I also get the feeling too that this bond is so very strong that it is just a matter of time, that probably distance is not gonna, even if distance does still play into it for a little while, it will happen.
So it seems to me if there's any problem at all with this relationship, that's what it is right now,
okay.
is overcoming the distance factor, because everything else looks really good.
Well,
So
good luck.
that's all I have for you right now, Asaya. Asaya, I'm sorry I mispronounced your name again, but please feel free to join us again and subscribe. Keep us posted, and we'll be happy to follow up with you in the future.
All right.
And stay tuned if you'd like to tonight for more entertainment. And is Feliz still with us? Feliz?
Feliz Hassan.
We might have lost some people, so I'm not sure.
Don't give up on love. That's right.
True words, smiling soul. We didn't. And look where we are 38 years later, almost.
All right. Very nice. So we're giving a moment for Feliz to show up.
Yeah, if Feliz is here and would like a reading now, maybe Feliz will come back later. And I will move Feliz up the list if that is the case, since he was.
Every night we
us.
do a tarot one card reading for the following day, which we call Tarot for Tomorrow. And you can get that on our Facebook page, and it also is excerpted over to our Twitter. And so that's just I see Feliz has rejoined us. Did you have a
great,
specific
Feliz.
question? Or are you looking for general, or what kind of
Yeah,
thing?
your question might be way up the chat, so if you could repeat it, I'd really appreciate it. We're ready for you now. Alexandria, hello. Welcome back. And we have one person in front of you if you are interested in a reading. We're about to get started with them now.
Hi, Alex, Andrea.
Good to see you again. Good to see new and old subscribers with us today.
When will you get married? Ooh, those when questions.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, and whoops, I'm sorry, Sonny. I can't believe he is
Feliz
not giving
is
me any
Libra.
room whatsoever to shuffle cards. this has to change. I have just moved my tablet so I can work around our sunny cat, who is just adorable. And I just can't push him away. I think he adds a little charm to the readings.
See, I have no idea if he's just drawn to it because we're here or if he sort of perceives something's going on. There are times where he'll look at one of our other monitors and he sees himself in the monitor because he's on camera, or he sees us and he'll sit there and just look.
I'm just looking to see if I have a reading appropriate for this. I love this, doing these live streams because I've created a lot of 3-card spreads. And I really need to add some because you guys give me great ideas for readings I am lacking here. And so that's very helpful to me. So I really appreciate
He loves
that.
the attention, yeah.
Well, I don't have one that covers this, so we are going to wing this one and see what we get. And my feeling is that wands are the quickest. Right? Or air.
Yeah.
Swords would be the quickest.
Maybe
What would you
swords,
say?
yeah.
Swords, wands, cups, and then pentacles?
Yeah.
Let's do it that way. We're making an executive judgment here.
I follow the Banshee.
Let's draw the first card. It's the Page of Pumpkins.
The Page of Pumpkins.
Now, the Page of Pumpkins is reversed, which means that it seems to me it's not saying you won't get married, but what it is saying, it doesn't seem like it's
You're
very
tired
soon.
of waiting.
You're tired of waiting. Well, but I think that might go without saying by the question you asked. But
you're wondering if it's worth, is there somebody specific and you're thinking that they're just waiting to ask the question or something like that? Because I get the feeling like you've been waiting and you're thinking like you're persevering, you're holding on because you expect something. But now that may have changed and maybe you're not quite seeing that. And so you're wondering if maybe you're going to change things. Anyway, next card.
Oh, okay. So, but I would say to that one that it also indicates to me there still might be some delay at play.
Yeah.
Now you have the Two of Ghosts, and that one's reversed. That's the Two of Cups reversed. Were you in a relationship in the not too distant past that kind of fell apart?
Yeah, maybe it's the same relationship, like it kind of goes back and forth a little bit. There's a little bit of resonance there, but there's occasional emotionality that kind of, creates some bickering and like, okay, let's cool off a little bit. It maybe hasn't really moved to that plateau or that other level that you would be expecting for it.
Okay, I see. I get that. Well, I do think that when you just received the Sun card, which is
This
really
is a good
fantastic.
omen. This
It
is a good omen for marriage.
It almost wipes out some of the negativity of the previous cards. I think that, yes, you will get married, but I'm not sure it's immediate.
Well, the question was when.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, well, on second thought, I just got the 8 of Bats. I feel like right now, just because of the type of card it is an air card, and air cards is about movement, but the 8 of Bats is showing somebody who is unable to move at this time, move forward. So I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit off yet. It may not be even this, when I say this year, I'm talking about from here to 12 months from now. It may not be within a year, that you will meet somebody that you will want to marry.
There's no chance that you're going to rebound with Hamza, your ex, that there could be a reconciliation. I sort of get a slight feeling there. I'm not sure, though, if that's what I feel. But like Banshee, I do believe it's going to happen. It just may...
it may not happen as soon as you might like. That's what I'd have to say. And you know what? All I have to say is, Feliz, is take your time. It seems like, you don't have enough time, but you should try to take your time and make sure that you're going to have a relationship that is worth the test of time, that will withstand the test of time.
So Banshee is pulling some Lenormand.
I'm going to pull a couple of Lenormand cards for you, Felice, to see if there's anything else that we can tell you about the situation. Maybe get a better handle on a time frame.
I actually think if there is a relationship that is starting or something is starting to happen, it could still be about a year out. That's about the best I can see, is that once this really happens. And there you go again with that birdhouse.
I don't know why that keeps coming up. It seems to me that a lot of our viewers tonight are getting news and information coming to them, or there's chatter around them, a lot of talk.
Is that the man?
Yes, it is the man.
Okay.
That could indicate
a new person.
Right, or it could indicate the person we're reading for. So I don't tend to look at masculine, feminine images anymore in the same way. So I would just say this is a person who might be giving you news that could be pertinent to you as far as marriage goes. In other words, maybe they may tell you about somebody you might be interested in. You know, they may arrange a date for you or something like that. It seems like somebody else is involved, and it's some news that comes to you that will open a door to a potential new relationship.
I don't think that you will reconcile. I think this is like what Banshee says. This is somebody new, and I think it will possibly begin to show itself somewhere in the spring. The birds seem to be spring-like to me, and I'm thinking you're going to meet somebody in the spring, or somebody will be able to introduce you to somebody, or somehow that will work better.
Oh, thank you. Did I miss a card? I just want to draw one more tarot card for you. Oh.
Then she'll be saying she wants you to have children too.
The Ten of Pumpkins. Well, this is really interesting because that's the Ten of Pentacles, and that's about family. And you just mentioned your sister. You know, maybe it's possible through a family connection that, you know, you will meet somebody new.
Yeah, like I said, though, I'm sort of thinking...
I'm not sure I'm seeing a reconciliation.
Yeah, I don't feel that. I feel you are moving on.
But remember, like I said, the tarot's a snapshot in time. And so if you realize there's obstacles and you are the one who wants a reconciliation, I'm not saying not to try it. But at this time, I just don't see it as happening. And so that's what we have for you today, Felice. I hope that's helped you. We're going to move on now to Alex?
Alex.
Alex, you're up. And thank you for joining us, Felice. And like I said, feel free to subscribe and join us again sometime. Keep us posted. And, you know, if you want another reading, a follow-up, do keep in touch.
And for those who like a little lightheartedness, I'm just going to remind everybody that on our Facebook page and also on our Twitter, we've been doing Halloween haiku. Oberon and Banshee's Halloween haiku. Haiku is a Japanese short form of poetry. It's very simple, and it's...
Which we have kind of Americanized with
it's
our silly
semi-decadent
Halloween
in a way.
haiku.
So we show those on mornings for the whole month of October, and then on Halloween morning we will actually present a video with the dramatic recitation of all of the Halloween haiku.
And a reminder to everyone, besides some video presentations we'll have on Halloween, we will also be live streaming for 3 whole hours.
Mark your calendar, 6 to 9 next Thursday.
Besides readings, besides readings for questions that come up, we'll also be bringing out some special decks for some special readings. I have some past life cards. And as a matter of fact, if you join us on Sunday, I'm going to spend a little time doing some past life readings for people on Sunday. And we'll also do some on Halloween night.
Very awesome. Alrighty. So,
Alex, are you with us? It is your turn. We'll give you another moment or two.
Did DJ have sex?
Also,
that sounds nasty. Oh dear.
also, on occasion, we do readings for global and national issues as well. We haven't tackled some of the tough U.S. questions yet. We've done some on climate change. We have been currently doing some on the issue in Britain, the Brexit that is going on.
Yes, I remember.
And, oh, there you are, Alex. Okay.
Catch up.
Well, I'm not sure what I'm missing here. I'm missing part of the conversation.
Right after awe.
I have yes.
Oh, I see something that you asked basically if your ex or the DJ person, if they had sex with your friend Jackie. I don't know why you're not getting it because I'm not getting it over here either.
Oh, huh. Well, there.
I accused them, but DJ denied it. But I think he's like, okay.
Okay.
This is a simple, but obviously, I think we should use my deck for this
Are
one.
we going to do where we
A yes or no?
Well, or do we want to do one card for as they... Well, okay. I think the yes-no is better. I think you're right.
Okay, so
You're
we're
right.
going to do this as a straight yes or no.
I'm going to look at
Thinking
my
of that
readings.
question. Oh dear, how did I do that?
I do have an interesting 3-card one. Okay, I'm going to keep this one on standby. Okay, thank you.
Shuffle away.
So we're using his Goth Tarot. Is
The
it Goth
Gothic Tarot.
The Gothic Tarot.
From 2002. Wow, this is actually no spring
It's a
chicken.
little older deck. Well, I'm sure the Halloween Tarot is kind of back then too. Let's see what we got. 1996, the Halloween Tarot.
Yeah.
So we brought
So
out
that
some
one
more
is
old
absolutely
decks
still in
tonight.
print too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure if this Goth Tarot is.
All right, I'm going to cut them.
All right, Alex. So, in the question,
Yes, let's see if we can discern what's going on here.
now
give you an
remember,
idea.
we are not the police or the FBI. This is only
And this
telling
is
us-
only the cards talking, and you know, you can use your own gut level from what we tell you to make that decision for yourself. Because obviously, you know, we're reading the cards and giving you our what the cards have to say about it. And sorry for the quiet time here. I'm just letting him shuffle, and it looks like he's almost done. Oh, you are done.
okay. The answer is mostly affirmative.
And I think I see here, show the card that you have, because I have,
2 aces, but then I also have that one.
yes, and the Fool to me is indicative of, how shall I say this, risky behavior.
Yeah, it can be foolish behavior. It's not really listening to instinct or conscience or anything like that. Or it could just be saying that in the act of doing this, it will turn out to not have been a wise decision.
Now, the Fool is upright, which is usually more positive, but,
Given the nature of the question.
given the nature of the question, that's what I'm intuiting, is that he might have this engaged in risky behavior. The Fool takes chances and risks and adventures. They're very adventuresome, if you understand that at all. I'm going to see if my Lenormand adds anything to the equation. You know, we could also ask the question, if you want to do another quick yes-no, is he lying?
Yeah, I think that would be a good question to ask.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to show you these two Lenormand I pulled. Thank you. One is the snake, and one is the sun. These two cards appeared before, but not together. And what I would say is, what is a snake? Kind of sneaking around, kind of deceptive. There's deception. And the sun is something very positive and good. So it seems to me that a deception or lying, if we want to say it, is disrupting something very good.
Well, and I also think, too, that it will come to light, as they say.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Correct.
I'm going to toss the cards one more time real
We want
quick.
to see if, you know...
And we are going to ask, basically, is DJ lying? Right?
Yeah. And if we get something ambiguous after we've told you all of this, I would say keep your eyes open. At any rate, from what I'm seeing from the cards we've gotten so far, you definitely need to, you know, be wide awake on this one. What is the term today? Woke. So, yeah. Sonny is now looking at himself in my tablet, which is good because now I have room to actually... Oh, my shuffle... No, I did
shuffle.
already. I did.
Did you?
I didn't. Oops.
Yes,
Sorry.
please, shuffle.
You're right, I didn't. Because I asked you to do it, that's right. You caught me, Mr. O. All right, let me see. All right. Do you want me to do that? Oh, you can do it. He's in my way. Who is that handsome cat in the tablet? And as we draw the cards looking for aces, so far we have none. Well, now this is saying there's a possibility of no here, that he is not lying. However, we have the four...
It's not a strong possibility.
Right. It's not strong enough for me to say that's the case. We have the King of Wands here, who can be kind of an aggressive, pushy sort of person.
No, he's more a little bit on the magnetic side.
Yeah. And we also have the Six of Swords here, which I'm going to let you run with.
Ooh, it's kind of like having to move beyond present circumstances, possibly.
Louder?
It's having to move beyond present circumstances, possibly a physical or a mental journey, and it's leaving unpleasant things behind, or it's trying to move towards something better.
Yeah, so I don't know if, the situation with this person is that they are lying because they slept with somebody, behind your back, or if the deception is that they really are looking for another relationship at this time. And that's what we have at the moment for you, Alex. I hope that gives you some insight and something to think about, because you oftentimes I tell people, we all are intuitive to a certain extent. And if you feel something's wrong, more often than not, something's wrong. Of course, you should try to make sure you're balanced and grounded, and, that you're not blowing things out of proportions, but you kind of know in your gut. We all have that instinct, and we've been honing ours for years, and you yourself have the same instincts. You just need to trust and use them more. So I hope that helps with this situation. And I think I was talking earlier, have we got everybody taken care of in the chat thus far? I think we have. So I'd like to take a moment and talk about a couple of other really cute decks I have. I've been meeting some great people now that I'm getting more out into Twitter and Facebook, and they've been recommending stuff or using things that look
You're
really.
welcome.
You're welcome, Alex. Look really interesting to me. And so if any of you are looking for some really positive, fun, sassy little cards to just, uplift your day, somebody named Open Soul Tarot showed me a deck called the Affirmators deck. And it's cute. There's a little bunny riding a unicorn here. It's really awesome. And now these aren't so much divination decks as they are to just draw a card a day and draw strength from the message of the card. And I have to say, there are more than one Affirmator deck. This is a general deck. There is also one that is Affirmators at work. So it's for the workplace environment if you need a pick-me-up at work. There is also another deck for family, and there's another one for love and relationships. And they just give some sage advice, and I'm just going to pull one at random for the audience right now and see what it says, what kind of advice it has for us today. And I want to thank Open Soul Tarot. I already did on Twitter for turning me on to this deck of cards. Aha! I have pulled something called the No Judgment card. And as you can see, they actually put the little affirmation on the card, so it's very easy to use, no books to thumb through. And what this card says is, I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyway? And so it's telling you, hey, let that part of you that judges too harshly and critically go. You don't need them. And especially when you're judging yourself too harshly and critically. You may be judging others that way. You may be judging yourself that way. Let it go and just be. It's very sage, sound advice and done in a fun way. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I'm sure this is available from various book and card sellers out there. It's called Affirmators, and and actually what it says on here is 50 affirmation cards to help you help yourself without the self-helpiness. So it's very, very cute, and the person who created these, who I'm trying to desperately find on the cards so I can give them credit, it does say it's from knockknockstuff.com. So you could go to knock knock, like, knocking on a door, knockknockstuff.com, and take a look at these decks there.
And we've had a couple more people show up.
Oh, excellent. So who do we have?
Vasheli showed up first.
Vasheli showed up first.
And then Starbella came in.
And Starbella. I'm going to write your names down, and we'll get this show on the road. Vasheli, you are first. So if you have a question, by all means, this is your time. Let us know. Or if you just want a general reading. And Star, you will be next. Okay, was that yes to a general reading, or do you have a question?
Whose deck are we going to use? Yours?
I'm going to use mine this time.
Okay.
What is coming for you in November?
Oh, okay.
Well, awesome. I think what we're going to do, as I move my cat, just slide him over gently a little bit. All right, we're going to do a reading for the month of November. This almost lends itself to a 4-card spread. Do you have something else in mind? We could do a card for each week.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to cut and you'll complete?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to explain the reading briefly?
So, Vishali, we're going to do a card for each week, what the focus might be for that particular week, and you can see the influences that will be surrounding you for that month. And then I will draw 2 Lenormand cards that might show what the general theme for the month will be overall. Wow.
So the first week, which will be starting on
November.
Friday, November 1st. It looks to me like there is the possibility of something really pleasurable happening, something you've been waiting for a while perhaps, or something new starting. It could be something with your emotions, something that's pleasing to your emotions. So maybe it could mean a new emotional interest, or maybe just a new circle of friends of some sort. But it's happening in that first week. You're going to have a new situation, and it's going to feel very warm.
Well, I would add to that my own little spin on the Ace of Cups. And I feel like, something that you are very passionate about, whether it is work, whether it is school, whether it is a creative pursuit, whether it is a relationship. There's a beginning of something new, some new wonderful beginning that's going to make you very happy.
And Honey Tarot has just joined us.
Well, hi, Honey Tarot. You certainly can, but we do have a list, and you will be third in line. We are reading for one person now. We have one person in front of you, Star. So keep that in mind, honey, and we will definitely get to you.
All right.
And let's see.
Let's
continue with Vishali. Card number 2 is the Queen of Wands, that would be.
Okay, now I'm getting like there's somebody more specific. This card could be a woman, which may or may not matter to you, but it could also just be the qualities of that person too. Mm-hmm. This is a highly magnetic person.
And a fire sign.
And a fire sign. This is a person who maybe to some degree has strong sensual elements, but at the same time may also sort of feel like, oh, I don't know, just a little bit risky or dangerous. Like maybe there's a little element of danger about this person. Sounds kind of goofy, right? I don't know, unless, as they say, that's like something that interests you.
So that's week number 2. Week number 3. Week number 3 shows a little bit of, how should I say this? I like to look at the 9 of Swords. It's a little bit different to me from the 3 of Swords, and I don't know, we may have our first disagreement on this one, but I'm not sure. That the 9 of Swords is more an internal grieving. In other words, are you bringing this sadness and sorrow upon yourself? It seems as though whatever is bothering you in the 3rd week of November is self-imposed. It's not something, that's caused by other people. It may be a depression that you are feeling regarding things that maybe you think should be moving faster, or maybe some relationship memories from the past, something haunting you that you can't let go of, and you will need to.
And I don't feel that I'm disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I mostly feel like you're right, but I also too think that this is the possibility that although it's not a situation that affects you directly, mm-hmm. it affects somebody you care about. And so the concern or care you feel is for somebody else, and you wish you could be with them in certain ways, or you wish you could give them strength in this time for them.
Yes. And card number 4 is the 8 of Pentacles. Well, card number 4 for the end of November, you are going to be hard at work on something.
Yes.
Whether it's yourself, I will throw that out there, or whether it is at work, you're working hard on projects. I tend to think it's almost a work environment card that you are going to be trying to get some things done and completed before year's end.
Well, for me, I also feel too that this card is also about learning something too.
Yeah.
So it may be possible that maybe if there's an employment thing going on for you, maybe you're going to be learning new routines, or you're going to be getting added responsibilities that will be looked at as part of a process for you to move upward or somewhere else within that kind of situation.
Or if you are in school, if that's the case too, this is definitely a card
It's a good
indicating,
card.
yes, a lot of hard work that is going to pay off for you. And so I'm going to draw a couple of Lenormand cards to see what might be the focus of the, what ties these all things together possibly. Let's see.
Yes, because curiously enough, we had one card from each suit.
That's very balanced.
That's very balanced. It's something that never happens for us in readings of this sort.
No. And can I say another thing? They're all upright.
They're all upright. So you're feeling the mostly intended messages of the card. What you got, Banshee?
Well, Shelley, I would say if you're a gambler, don't. And don't gamble. What I want to also say is, okay, you've got the clover, and then you have the mice. And the mice sometimes is a card I don't like to see because they're little troubles, little annoyances, possible ill health, but not serious necessarily. And you have the clover, which is a card of luck. But what I would say to you is don't gamble on any risky things that could endanger your health, or cause problems to occur. You could run into a little bit of bad luck in November. And so whether it's a little slight sick spell, which may be that third week here where we're seeing the depression, you in bed there, the nine of swords, that could be indicative of a little slowdown and some little difficulties for you in the month of November.
I'm not a reader of Lenormand, as I keep saying, but I do feel something from the cards on occasion, so I just kind of say what I feel there. And I also get the feeling too, like maybe there's a possibility that you're going to feel like you need to save a little bit. Like this card makes me think of hoarding in a way. The mouse is hoarding a little bit, and I'm thinking like maybe there's something going on where you're going to feel like you need to conserve more resources. It may not be necessarily about saving money, but it may be like looking at doing an inventory of where you're going and what you need to have. And I do also feel too, though, as Banshee says, that the Clover card provides an idea that there's some sort of luck for you. So just once again, keep it balanced. Everything in these cards really does look positive, like there's some positive.
Except for the 9.
Except for that 9 in the third week, which just sounds like you're having to care for someone or for things going on that maybe you could resolve those.
Yeah. So that's what we have for you, Shelley. I hope that helps, and it's. I'm glad you came back, and look forward to reading for you again.
Right. Always drop in if you feel like it, and let us know what's going on.
And we are now going to do Star, and then after Star will be Honey.
Okay, Star. Did you really mean that question, or are you looking at a more serious question, or is that a serious question for you? Thank you, Vishali.
Thank you, Vishali.
Ah, okay. So you want to know about your look with dreadlocks. Okay.
Okay.
This is a serious question. We
I'm
can do
game.
this. This is a serious question. Somebody in my workplace just recently did that. I guess it's an extensions thing.
Okay,
I
don't know.
Person.
Well, there's a difference between dreads and extensions, right?
Well, it looked like dreads to me, but you're right. It might not be. But I think I adapted to the use. I think I sort of wasn't sure what I thought about it first, but now after a few days, I do kind of like the look. Hey, I'm pretty serious about my hair.
You want real dreads. Okay.
Ah.
Well, let's see what we got.
They take a long time, don't they?
So do we want to ask a yes/no on this one?
Let's try that first.
Okay. I'm going to let you shuffle. We're using the Halloween Tarot. We're using 2 different decks tonight. He's brought out his Gothic Tarot, and we're using my deck right now, the Halloween Tarot.
For the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah. And we're going to be bringing out more Halloweeny stuff as as it gets closer. Sunday's broadcast, I will be bringing out my past life reading cards again because they are quite fun to play with. And I will do a few readings, for just brief readings for people that day. And on Halloween, we'll bring them out again. I also have a Halloween oracle somewhere that I have to dig up, and I'm sure I have some other Halloween themed deck. I just can't put my hands on it right now.
Star Bella, I'm thinking of the question exactly as you're asking it. It helps me hone in on it. So I'm asking if you will look beautiful with dreads.
Okay, so I have the cards. I have some good news, I think.
You have aces.
You
Star.
have two of them. And what that indicates is there's a good potential for yes here, Star. But what I would suggest to you, and also we have, look at that.
Oh, wow, the 3 of pumpkins.
So are you going to...
Are you going to be in a competition with these dreads?
No, what I wanted to ask you was, are you going to somebody to style or create them for you, or are you doing this yourself?
Because I know what you're thinking, I think, with that one.
Do you?
Well, there's
are
an
you-
aspect of artisanness.
Are you
represented in this
psychically
card.
reading me at this time? Okay, someone else. Thank you. Because I sense that this person is, hopefully a master craftsman at what they do, because that's what this looks like. It looks like they are going to really put their best effort into this.
Right. This is the card of literally an artisan, somebody who is very artistic, very creative, and somebody who is known for their work. So I'm actually wondering too if this is considered a person who everyone should talk to about these kind of things, because they are known to be pretty much the best or one of the best.
So I'm going to say you are in good hands.
Yeah, you are going to
like,
look beautiful.
according to the cards. And so go
Yay.
for it. Change is good. And you know what? You can always undo it later. Change is good. We need to try things. We
That's
never
one thing
know
about
until
hair,
we
right?
try. Yeah.
Hair today.
Oh man.
Gone
Someday
tomorrow.
you might be shocked and see me with short hair again. I may do it. I always threaten to do it again, but I haven't in a long, long time.
Well, you'll have to come back at some point and tell us what you think about that or how it worked for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
And-
drop us a picture. I think that would
And you
be
got a
awesome.
couple cards.
I do.
Hold on, Star.
Wow. Well, I have the fish and I have the anchor, which is really interesting to me because
Yeah.
the fish is about flow. They're moving. And the anchor is about stability.
You're welcome.
Staying still. Well, I don't know that dreads have a really, when I'm thinking about them, they're kind of heavy. They don't move around a lot, do they? So it's going to be a different feel for you, but it's not a bad thing. The fish actually is a very positive sign, prosperous sign. In other words, I think it's going to be positive for you. And you might want to stay with the look long term. The anchor can be stability, or it can be something that means long term, something that lasts. So it might be a look that you might maintain for a while.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that this has a lot of flexibility and versatility for you, because it can root you in place on a certain level. And I don't mean just the physical nature of the hair and the extensions and whatnot, but in terms of giving you a signature style, if you will. But then this one too says that there's movement, there's variation. So the thing is that you will probably have some flexibility with how you can work with that style to create other textures or effects there.
Very good. And so that's what we have for you, Star. I'm glad you dropped in. And also remember, people, to subscribe, because you'll be notified when we are going live. And I believe you'll be notified when we post videos. which we will be doing more video content. You know, when we were maybe not quite as popular as we've gotten recently, we had more time to fill, and we did a lot of games and different things with the cards that we might now show some of this on video. I do reviews of decks, and I show different devices, and Oberon does meditations, and we're going to be
You're
posting
welcome.
a dramatic reading of the Halloween haiku. So definitely subscribe and keep in touch, because you never know what will be next with us. And now we have Honey. Is Honey still here with us? And you're welcome, Star. Good luck with that. I hope it all works out.
Honey's question was they wanted to know what's coming towards them, and they're wondering about applying for a new job that they're interested in.
Oh. Well, that's two different questions, but let me just see.
Do you want to move back to my deck or keep this one?
Well, we could move back to yours if you want. Let's go.
Sure. You know what? I'm going to work with a different one. I'm going to work with my Rider-Waite.
Oh, okay. So now he has brought out the tried and true Rider-Waite deck for you, Honey. Honey, are you still with us? I just want to double check.
It looks like a few people dropped off, so I'm
I know.
not sure.
So let's see what happens. And I will continue to look.
They're here. Okay, so
Okay,
the
great.
question that we understood was you're wondering what's coming towards you, and you're wondering if you should actually apply to a job you're interested in. So we're going to go ahead with that reading. So we have to do our weekly reading, don't we?
Yeah, we probably do. We have time, though.
All right.
Well,
Go ahead and shuffle.
I don't have a good reading for this, and now I can't look. So,
Okay.
so do you want to just wing it?
Yeah, I think I can do
So
that.
what do you have?
I'll just pull cards and I'll try to put them into context.
We're going to try to see what's coming up for you. And we'll see if anything is relating to this new work situation. Whether you should apply or not.
I'm going
And
to
as
do
a
my...
matter of fact, why don't we pull some cards to see what's coming towards her, and then do a quick yes/no to see if she should apply for that job.
Sure.
Unless it comes up clearly in these three cards.
Well, hi, Mystic
Hey,
Dreamer.
Mystic Dreamer, how's it going?
Cut.
You are going to be after the reading we're performing right now. So you are next in line, Mystic Dreamer. You came at the right time.
Good to see you here.
Yeah, it's good to see you back.
Okay, so this is you in the situation, and it feels to me like you have a little bit of repair work to do, or you're doing some sort of maintenance from the point of finding out that there's been a little bit of deceit around you, that maybe you are finding out that maybe some things have been a little bit messed with by people. I don't know how dramatic this is, but you know, you may be a person that likes things ordered a certain way, and I'm getting the feeling like maybe some of that has been disrupted in a way.
Well, I look at this card as deceptions being revealed. I also look at this card as maybe something, you know, maybe that something is, I don't want to say being returned to you, but there might be an attempt at some amends being made for some wrong being done to you. Now, you're saying this is the present, because I
This
was
is
looking at...
around them right
Okay,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm doing kind of like a variation on my regular.
Because she wants to know what's
3 card.
coming towards her. Okay.
Right. Well, I'm just going to see what this says. Okay.
Ah.
Because I have 2 cards. One could be something good. One could be something bad. And
it's a little of both.
or it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And so on the one hand, what I see is that there is something you've been waiting for, and it seems like it's just been taking too long, and you are actually wondering if it is going to bear fruit. It may have been a project or a situation you were trying to work on. I am getting the feeling like it was maybe another job or another thing of employment or enterprise that you were also thinking about, and maybe you're thinking that one is not going to work out, or it's taking too long. But at the same time, I also feel too like you have decided what you really need to do is kind of step up your game a little bit. And I think that you are seeing that you really have to,
Go ahead.
okay, that you have to kind of figure out what has been given to you, what has been shown to you, and pick something and move in that direction.
So now that I can get back to this card, I think that this card to me, I'm not so sure it's indicating waiting for something so much as if you're wondering if it's really worth your while in the end. You might be weighing this job opportunity against your present one and just wondering, is this a risk I'm willing to take? Is this going to pan out? The other one here is talking about moving towards new opportunities. Maybe you've been you feel like you've waited long enough to make a decision, and it's time to make the move now to decide one way or another. Were you going to draw another? Or is this
No,
it?
that was
I
it. But
think
I
we
wanted
should
you
do
to
a
do
yes.
the Lenormand,
Oh, okay.
and then we'll
will.
do the yes or no.
I will.
Real
So
quick.
let's see what we can add to this to see if we can get a little bit more specific. Because that is a little bit vague. I am wondering about this, whether you should apply for the job from what I'm seeing here myself. But I think you're ready for something new at any rate. That's the impression that I'm getting from the cards.
Alrighty.
Well, I could look at this couple of different ways here. So what could be coming to you is a situation where you get an opportunity through a friend. It looks like, or it could be a coworker. It's somebody that you know
Somebody
that
you can
could
trust.
open a door for you in some way. The key is like providing you an opening. And I think that that's basically what this is talking about, that there could be a door open for you. And I don't know why, but for some reason I'm sensing that this may not be the opportunity you're asking about. It may be something else.
Yeah, I think that is borne out by the fact that in the first card it just said you've been thinking about all these things, but something is really gonna sort of spark in your mind. And I think what it is this: a friend, a coworker, somebody you generally trust will be telling you about or somehow showing you this opportunity that Banshee has mentioned.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quick yes or no for you, honey, while you're still here. And we're going to basically ask, how was that question?
Well, the question was if she should.
Whether you should, continue to
for-
show that interest, apply that
Yeah.
for that job. So why don't you shuffle first?
So somehow I do think you asked what was coming towards you. Some new opportunity is coming towards you. To me, it does seem like it's more work related than relationship related. So I would stick with that. And so now we're going to ask specifically, more clearly about this particular job opportunity you're interested in. Do I need to cut or
No,
you?
I'll shuffle now.
Uh-oh. Knock over my leaves. There's our little psychic is in. All right. Let's see what we get. And, okay, we got an ace. Almost there. Aha. Well, it's a little bit of a mixed bag here to me.
Yeah, it is.
But I will say you have two aces.
You have a good chance of yes.
Which is a good chance of yes. Maybe you
yes,
should
you should apply to
go
this job.
for this opportunity.
But keep in mind.
But there is a caveat. And you have the 5 of Cups upright. And the Five of Cups upright is indicative to me that you might be looking at what you've left behind with some remorse. In other words, this opportunity may have something that you want, you're looking for, whether it's better pay, better responsibilities, a position you could grow into. But there's something about your past position you're really going to miss, I think.
You think we're awesome? Thank you.
Who said that? Oh, thank you. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that.
I feel something about this too. I feel like this opportunity that was coming up in the other cards, and we said maybe it was a friend or a person you felt good about trusting their word. I get the feeling like this opportunity is challenging, and like Banshee said, will possibly lead you away from something that's more comfortable or something that you will
You'll
not
miss in
feel
some
told.
way.
You'll miss a little bit.
Yeah.
So you have to consider that. But I have a feeling that you should apply for that.
Well, and I would say to you, honey, that, hey, I've been around the block a few times. I've been in a number of positions. I've always went from one lower position to something higher. And, sometimes you have to leave good people behind. Keep up your friendships, keep up your connections. They can be important networking for you later. From previous jobs that I've left, I've always left them in a good stead. In other words, if you have a good relationship with your present place that you work at, don't leave them in a lurch. Leave them making feel good about your stay there, that you made a difference there, and you left with everything in place so that they could move somebody else in comfortably, and that's always good. That's what I've always tried to do, and it served me well in my future positions. So that's
Thank
a
you
little
again.
bit of advice from the Banshee, who's worked way too many years and can't wait for retirement.
But you have to.
I know, but I have to a little longer.
Well, thank you again.
Yes.
Champagne has joined us.
Oh, who? Champagne.
So you will be after the next reading,
Yeah.
which is going to start in a moment, for Mystic Dreamer. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, Champagne, and you are just one reading away from getting a reading from us.
You're welcome.
Mystic Dreamer. So, what do you have? You want?
Hit me with spirit for the next 3 months for their Libra Sun and their Leo Moon.
Okay. You've got a Libra Sun.
So
and
they want 3 months
Leo
review, basically.
Moon.
Okay.
That's very interesting combination.
Yeah, I'll say.
I get along really well with Libras. I always have. I am an Aries.
Did you shuffle?
Not much yet, but
Okay.
I was going to look for a reading. I am an Aries, and for some reason, I don't know, because we're like opposites, aren't we? Aries and Libra, 6 months apart.
We're less than 6
No,
months
Aries
apart.
and Libra.
Oh, you and Libra. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, so that's maybe why. I don't know. We just seem to click.
Yeah, you have liked our Libra friends. All right, I can do those. You can look for the reading.
All right. Let's see what we have. So I have one that's going to talk about this month, the influence this month, the influence next month, and then what's going to be the accumulated, what's going to happen within 3 months. We'll see what the three cards say, and of course I'll draw you a couple of Lenormand cards as well to see what may tie them all together.
And you want to let me cut first?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because I shuffled first, you may cut.
Does it always have to be that way?
It does.
Okay. Very good.
Consistency. Anyway, so the first card is for, well, when I'm saying this month, I'm really talking about November now. Let's do this reading from November forward, because October is almost gone, really. Of course, we have that hideous Mercury retrograde coming up, and I'm sure that's going to muck up the works a bit. So your first card for November is Judgment reversed. And I would say that, Judgment reversed is kind of a funny card to me. You have to be a little bit careful that, maybe some past actions that you've taken don't come back to haunt you in some way. Karma can be, a bitch. I just say the word. And so you got to watch, for something that maybe from your past that will come back to haunt you. And maybe it's time to reconcile a certain situation or just make peace with something.
I mostly feel that too, but I also feel too that there may be this idea that there's some knowledge or interest in something that's not typical for you, and that you may have to try to find some answers in a different way than you normally would. It's not just like about going to the library and finding the right book or going to the internet and Googling some terms. It may just be something you are going to actually wrestle with a little bit, and that's in this next month.
Mm-hmm. And next month,
yeah, it could be karma
well, this
too,
is
though.
November, so this will be December. And maybe that's kind of knocked you off your game a little bit here because Temperance is reversed as well. December is such a crazy month sometimes. I don't know what holidays you practice, but at any rate, people are crazy, families are getting together, and your balance just will not feel right. So I would suggest to you make December a month of some self-care. Treat yourself kindly. Do things like maybe if you have access to a hot tub, swimming pool, get yourself in some water to bring some balance back into your life.
Well, interesting. I sort of feel that too, that there's sort of this sense that it's just too easy of a month to really acquire bad habits. And yet at the
That
same
is
time,
true.
I also feel too that a part of you knows that, and a part of you knows too that you have to. Maybe I'm getting the feeling like sometimes, when the winter is at its peak or when the sunlight is at its peak, that's just not always a good time for you either. So you're going to have to try a little harder to be balanced and to be sunnier.
And so 3 months from now, which would be January, well, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is an awesome card for you. It shows you kind of being solitary, maybe a little bit, but you are very comfortable in January. It just seems like everything is going your way, whether you're enjoying your home. Your home life seems very important to you at the time, and your finances are doing incredibly well. It just seems like everything falls in place for you in January.
Yeah, I get the feeling like you can really kind of chill a little bit in January. I get the feeling like there's some things, it's not exactly that you're putting things on hold. It's really like January is going to be a better month for you to do that self-care. Like you're going to want to try to do it in December, but there's just too many obligations going on. January will probably be when you really will find the time to do that and do it.
Get one of those. I too have very problems with winter months. I have the seasonal affective disorder that they talk about, and get yourself one of those lights. They do work. It's just finding the time, of course, to get on a schedule of using it, which is always hard for me. But I go through bouts of sleeplessness in the winter months that is extreme. So I hear you on that. So all we can do is try to do other things to de-stress, find time to meditate, maybe read more books, do things that kind of quiet the mind so that we can get through these months.
And I don't know if you're a person who likes to do crafts or can do art, but I get the feeling like if you're able to use your hands a little bit more for things that can relax you, even maybe if it's just holding a book, and turning the pages of a book, but more specifically, I almost get the feeling like what the card shows, the person is in a garden, and I don't know if this would work for you, but maybe, to actually have a little plant or something to take care of, might actually be, oh, you play guitar? How cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I do see you doing stuff with your hand, and I think that is part of the MO, the method of operation to relax yourself and to maybe just give yourself something else to think about and review, a reverie of sorts, a time to that's what winter really is good for, because admittedly, a lot of us do feel the blues and we can't get out there as much due to the weather. So, yeah.
And I have 2 cards that I drew for you. One is the flowers, and the other here is, as I put the flowers down, the dog who has visited us before and tonight. And these 2 cards together indicate to me, well, it is the gift giving season after all. And I do sense you are going to get a very nice gift that you're going to appreciate from a friend. It just seems like something that you're going to really value. And it seems like if it's not a friend, it could be a relationship, but it also indicates a friendship, possibly a relative, somebody close to you is going to give you something that you're going to really value and cherish.
I see that too, and I also feel too that you're giving yourself something too, which is the idea that you are connecting with parts of yourself, playing guitar, meditating,
Oh, okay.
things like that. Does somebody have a dog?
Oh, does somebody have it?
I'm-
Well,
I'm
she has a
asking.
new roommate, so
I'm
maybe
asking,
that's
because
possible.
was the dog what you're thinking of when you're thinking of a guide? I don't know, maybe.
Well, she said she has a new roommate. So at any rate, that's what we see for you up and coming. We are going on 8:47 now, and I know we have
We have one more person,
one
don't
more
we?
person in the room, Champagne.
Champagne
So,
Sea.
Mystic Dreamer, I hope that helped, and by all means, come back. We are here twice weekly.
Good to check in with you.
And yeah, good to hear from you again.
Okay, Champagne Sea.
So, Champagne, if you've
If
got
you're
a
here,
question,
do you
shoot
need
away.
a general reading, or do you have a specific question?
Well, this has been a great night of reading cards. We usually do a weekly reading for everybody. We may have to post that on our pages, perhaps.
We could do that. What happened last time? Did we get our weekly reading?
No, yeah, we did.
Okay.
I think we rushed it early, but we got readings right away from the beginning. So, Champagne, if you have a reading, just speak now.
We have a little over 10 minutes, so we'll be
Yeah.
happy to get to your reading. And we really enjoy
Hey,
doing
I
all
know
these
what
readings.
we can do.
We just get a lot of something
In
random.
case Champagne does not come back, I will shuffle these cards. We can use this for our weekly reading. And, you have another deck available if Champagne comes back for her question.
All right.
So we're going to do our weekly reading right now. I believe it is my turn, is it not?
Yes.
I do the Thursday reading, and it's a 4-card reading.
I like your little icons, Mystic Dreamer. Thank you.
I'm very bad with these social media things still. I'm learning, but I never really get the icons out there that I could be, the emoticons, I should say. And I'm going to have to be better at that. But I am learning to hashtag on Twitter. And thanks, Smiling Soul, for your help and advice with some of this.
Maybe in the past we've done shows.
Yes, we have. We haven't done farmers markets, but we have done shows and events.
Right.
We did a festival.
For years we used to do a Halloween block club that was in a suburb up around here. Shuffle.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do the weekly reading because I think Champagne must have left us. I'm going to scroll back up the chat a bit and see if she
I don't believe they ever asked a question.
No, they did not.
I've cut them.
Okay. So the first card is for the more of our health and well-being, our physical, mental, and spiritual.
You're welcome,
health
Mystic Dreamer.
Well-being. And oh my goodness, we have the Magician card, which means, we have everything in place we need, body, mind, and spirit. We are keeping ourselves in alignment. We are,
Love and light.
Pardon me?
I'm just talking to them.
Oh, okay. We are having everything in alignment, and this is a great time to start an exercise regime, a new diet, whatever your fitness goals are. This is just going to work out great.
You're bursting with willpower, and you just feel like really everything is just moving very well. Things are just seemingly in place.
Okay, and now for everybody in our work environment and our possibly school, education, or work environment, and with our finances, well, maybe not so great. It seems as though we're stagnating a little bit. We're struggling. We're not able to move forward. If you're in school, maybe it's hard to pound those books and do the studying you need to do. If you're working, it seems as though you're getting bogged down with paperwork and stuff, and you're not digging yourself out. Maybe a lack of focus.
And if this is about schoolwork, right? School.
Yeah.
I think it also could pertain that maybe you are evaluating your role there and whether or not you might want to change direction in some way. Maybe not necessarily leave the school, but maybe really change what you're studying or something.
Well, that's a good point. But there is just like no movement right now.
Yes, and then maybe that's why, because you're just not getting it.
Well, guess what is getting it? Our love, family relationships, romance, friendships, our interpersonal relationships. We've got the world and it's upright. So that's another positive sign for success and completion. Maybe some relationships are reaching a turning point into something deeper.
Right. It could very well indicate that you moved to a point where now you clearly have to go to another level altogether. The world is always about a lot of perfection. And so in our emotional realms, our love life, it's saying there's just a lot of comfort. And even if a person is not necessarily involved in a relationship, there's just a sense of being at peace in a way and being like perfectly devoted to how your world is unfolding itself.
Well, and the other thing is, remember, you don't always need a relationship to complete you. And as a matter of fact, if you do, I think there's issues there because we need to be complete within ourselves and feel that wholeness and positivity within ourselves before we can really nurture, a relationship and another person. And so the focus for the week ahead, the final focus card for the week ahead, is again, this is reared its ugly head. It's Judgment reversed. And I'm going to let you go first. What's your impression about this one as a focus for the week ahead?
For the week ahead, I think this card is saying that to some degree, we're going to have to put off some stuff that we wanted to do. Some of that might have been about more elevation of ourselves. We were talking about how there's these powerful cards of the magician of the world. They sort of indicate the alignment of our forces and our strength. But then somehow in the week ahead, though, we're maybe almost feeling like, well, there are some other matters to take care of too.
Well, and Smiling Soul, we did have one upside down card, and that was this guy.
But now we have this one.
Yeah. And we have Judgment reversed. Yeah, I'm sorry. We do have some upside down. It was kind of a 2-4. We had 2 upright and 2 reversed.
Yeah, so that's balance.
That's
right?
balance. We got to weigh the good with the bad. We always have ups and downs.
I do feel that sometimes with Judgment reversed in that week ahead, it may be indicating maybe a minor dereliction of duty in the sense that you might get some opportunity to really have some fun, but you realize that there are other things you really do need to handle, but you're going to kind of go with the fun. We're talking about the post-Halloween season, etc., so maybe it's just time to just sort of, let it loose for a little bit, and, the next week or two down the road, you'll be able to refocus better. But, it's kind of like Mardi Gras in the fall. Oh, what you got there, Bansh?
Well, I have the ship and I have the letter. And the letter is seemingly more written communications. You know how we had the birds before a lot tonight? The letter is about writing and communication coming, and the ship is distance, of course. So it seems to me that a letter is going to be coming from a distance that people will get that may have some important news or information for you. And what do you say?
I think so too. I get the feeling like there's something going on there that is coming to you, but from a little further away, not the usual
Hi, kitty.
sources. I'm wondering if there is somebody you know that maybe you haven't thought about in a while, but maybe they're connected to another place you lived, and somehow out of the blue, I get the feeling like maybe they're going to connect with you again. You know, because it's the holidays, so people try to do that. I've been trying to do that with a cousin for the last year or two. It might happen one of these days, but I do get that feeling like you're going to receive a communication of some sort that will reinvoke that interest in a friend you haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, so amazingly enough, our cat decided to leave near the end of our live stream. He wouldn't even give me any table space for the majority of the live stream. And then with 4 minutes left, off he goes. It's almost as if he knows the show is almost over.
Well, the other thing too is that when we first started, as we were setting up, the cat that's usually here the least was the one stretched out here. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be nice if maybe they stayed around for a while and they would show themselves? And yes, this pertains to maybe all of us, but certainly any of us that knows folks have friends somewhere else. This may be that time that you're going to hear from them if you haven't in a while, because I do think that's the other part of the key. It's like something that's just sort of coming to you unexpectedly. So this, and you know, for what it's worth, Mercury's going retrograde, so usually that has situations about communication, and maybe it's not always good. But on the other hand, maybe Mercury retrograde could also mean you're going to hear from somebody that you haven't heard from in a while, because it's just unexpected in that regard. So
The
yes,
energies can
smiling
be
stuff.
unpredictable, and we have to remember too that Mercury is going retrograde in Scorpio.
Right.
So what are
do
the
you,
implications of that, Mr. Scorpio?
well, Mercury in Scorpio itself is always heightening the mental process. It's like finding out about things, and a lot of times it's about physicality, it's about health problems and things like that. So it could also say that it's it's going to put some of that at disadvantage, that maybe if we're the kind of people that normally can figure ourselves out quickly or easily, some of ourselves are going to be a little harder to define to ourselves, that maybe you'll say like, is that a cold I have, or am I just depressed, or do I need to go work out, or do I need to just stop eating as much? I mean, you might feel like some of your choices are not quite the right one, and you're going to second guess yourself a
Must
little
be
bit
a
in
lot
this
of
time.
push-pull going on, sounds like to me. I'm already sensing the Mercury energies, yes, definitely. So hang in there, everybody, and know that this too shall pass. And I think at this time, we just want to remind everybody about our Twitter and Facebook pages. We're always throwing content up there, or interesting comments. So join us there if you will. Check out our videos on YouTube as well. And please subscribe. And we want to thank you again for joining us today. And we want to thank Monster Hunter Malik, who is our backup moderator and our former producer.
Bye, Smiling Soul. If anybody is doing cards or designs of their own, they can let us feature them. So just give us a buzz at our Gmail account, which is on the screen there. We enjoy what we do here. We're happy to be with you. We're going to be with you again Sunday.
And
we're
3
going to be
hours on Halloween night.
Yeah, so
what will we
pretty
do?
cool.
We might drive ourselves crazy reading all night, but we also hope we can present a little content and have some fun. And we are going to try to fit in the reincarnation cards on Sunday and Halloween night, because I've gotten a couple requests for them, so we'll have some fun with that.
So if you're able, check us out on Sunday or whenever.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.